So we have Karanio, and he is currently wanting to work on damage. So we're going to go over his count and show how we can increase his damage. So let's take a quick look at players here. So you got 476, 408, 211, 384, 400, 300, 281, 411, and 207. He's looking pretty juiced out, to be honest here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, you see him running Troll and Magma pretty much for the whole piece across the board. So far, he's looking good. He still needs a little love on his helmets, but other than that, that's looking fine. It's pretty good. I mean, you know, definitely helping damage would work on Troll Armor. Definitely going to be a huge one. Finishing that off, obviously, you're already on your way. Another big one. Work on more golden cheese. I see you have a lot of golden cheese on some characters, but you definitely want to get more for everybody. You want to make sure that you spread it out. Like you got 68k here for 24.5%. You just want to make sure you spread that across the board, because you got to realize all stat doesn't only help with combat, it also helps with skilling. Absolutely. So that's definitely something that you want to work on. Now, is there any specific character that you want to work on damage, or just damage overall? So let's take a look at stamps. Stamps are a 5100. That's a huge one. So you got a bunch of base damage stamps here. Definitely could work on big time on some of your stamps. Your stamps are crack-a-lacking, absolutely. So you want to work on, yeah, these are tons of stamps you could upgrade right here, right now, just to get a huge amounts of damage percent. So definitely work on combat stamps. You have a lot of them that are super easy. Now, if you guys don't know, do not sleep on base damage. I feel like I say this a lot, but I have to say this even more. Base damage scales off damage percent. So if you don't have a lot of base damage, damage percent doesn't do jack. So you want to make sure that you scale its base damage as high as possible. There's a very big priority, and a lot of people sleep on it. It's just like any game that you play. Base damage scales into damage percent, base stat scale into all stat percent. You want to make sure that you get those up as soon as possible. You have stuff that's easy to upgrade. Diamond Axe Stamp, Dementia Sword is a nice easy one. Same with Steve's Sword. You can get that up for some more damage percent. Those are big amounts of damage. You want to work on these micro gains. These micro gains would be huge. It will definitely eventually benefit massively. So moving on to Alchemy. Okay, overall your Alchemy's looking pretty good. You got about, you're looking at around an average of, I would say about World to 1-3 bubbles. You're looking at about a 120, 125, 123 average, which is not bad. Leveling up Name, I guess, Quick Slap, and Big Meaty Claws, getting these all atomized. If you don't know, these 3 base damage bubbles, these are linear scaling bubbles. So no matter what, you will always get the same amount more points you put into them. So you definitely want to work on these 3 if you want to work on fatty base damage bubbles. These are micro gains. You're not going to see a lot at the start, but you got to realize every time you get that extra damage percent, it's just going to go, instead of here, it's going to go here because you have all that base damage. So definitely work on those bubbles. I would say if you want, you can get it up to like about 200, 220, give or take, just to give it a little bit more juice. Obviously, since you're prioritizing ES and Bubo, you're going to want to level up more on Name, I guess, because that will go into your 2.7 times with Mage's Best. Same with, I mean, Bojack, Maddie Stafford. I mean, you're at 20, you're about 125, so you get about 28.6%. You could probably get a 1.4% extra on Britley Spears, Bojack, and Maddie Stafford before it starts becoming really expensive. So use your bargain tags for these specifically. Same, once you get it to like Power of Try-3, farming out the notes map will definitely help this out a lot. It's actually very big damage. Let's take a look at your vials. Stuff like Tail Time. This wouldn't hurt to level up, especially since you have a couple of level 13 bubbles. Once you get into the Rift, that will definitely multiply that weapon power as well. So make sure getting Tail Time and Krakenade up. I see you already have level 12 Krakenade, which is good. But take some time and work on Tail Time vial. It'll definitely help juice that out. Okay, how's your sigils looking? I mean, you're working on your sigils. That's fine. All of these look super good. So let's take a look at, let's see how your, first of all, I want to take a look at your worship. You need to work on your skulls, brother. Work on your skulls. This is going to be massive for you. And if you're looking for overall more damage, big thing we need to look at as well is your equipment. I want to see a minimum void tools across the board. Because these are massive stat sticks. People completely underestimate the power of tools and the power of the splicer, because this is tons, especially with tier 5 stones. This is tons of base stats, which also feeds into your golden grilled cheese, because there's two types of stats. There's max stat and base stat. Base stat is what goes into all stat, or sorry, total stats. Total stats do not calculate into all stat percent. It's its own entity. So anything that's awarding you with base stats, you want to get tons of. So that's working good. You know, if you want to look for a little bit more damage as well, you know, start farming some golden or start doing some of your Pictic Stowaway quests. Pictic Stowaway quests, and a little bit from I can't spell. Stowaway. Farm a little bit of your Pictic Stowaway and a little bit of your post office. The reason... Sorry, ambulance. The reason why you want to farm this is for one thing and one thing only. Golden kebabs. Okay? This will give you total damage percent. This is definitely a huge thing you want to definitely get going. Also, how's your... Okay, so you're at about a level 48 golden food stamp, which is not too bad. How is your statues looking? So if this is the case, you're about 114. Yes, definitely doing more statue farming. 100% statue farming for the golden kebabs will definitely not only give you more base damage, DK and board beans as usual. Definitely best place to farm these statues. For your base damage statue, super massive. You're going for your crit chance, which is also really big. Like, you can get these statues to like a minimum of 160 of where you're at right now. So definitely get those up. Will be huge for you. Absolutely juiced out. Your post office is looking fantastic. You're working on Myriad Crate. You love to see that. Definitely looking good on that. Obols. I mean, if you want to boost out some serious damage out of your obols, start running Wisdom obols, especially for your Bubo and your ES. Running, you know, stuff like for Archer, running Agility obols, and they're super easy to farm. This is why I suggest these obols, because they're dummy thick, easy to farm. And not to mention, there's a talent that multiplies Wisdom obols by a percentage of how much potency it gives you. All whiz over swords all the way through, because you got to realize you're powering your power of try 3 when you use Wisdom base stat obols. Okay, when you're using your Wisdom obols, that's not only stacking onto your total damage percent. This a purple Wisdom obol will give you way more than 50 base damage. And I believe Platinum gives you weapon power as well, but it'll be way higher, way stronger. Trust me on that one. So you want to go for like things like Platinum, or sorry, you want to go, you want to go for Platinum Wisdom obols, and then you want to go for Square Dementia obols, and then, you know, running Troll, and you could also run Cheezor obols, which are also really good as well. And then, you know, the Troll Dementia star as well. And that will give everything like stats. And then also the reason for that as well is this talent down here. This talent, obols give plus 83.33% more wisdom than what's listed. You don't have this booked. You have this booked, way more wisdom. Like I've done a test on mine. I had it like maxed out, and it was like something like, it was like almost like 400 wisdom difference, like a 400 to 500 wisdom difference based on running full wisdom obols and running drop rate obols. It was a huge increase, like super massive for damage. This is how I run all wisdom obols when I was trying to hit 2.2 trillion damage on my elemental sorcerer, and it's way higher than the swords. The sword obols become worthless very, very early into the game. And then you're going to event, because I used to run full sword. I used to run all my characters at full sword to help me push through levels. But now with the whole World 5 and the whole World's all stat and the base stat, huge increase. And with the power of try 3, try 2, and try 1 with the damage percent based on how many stats you have. And also Crystal Stake. Don't forget about Crystal Stake. Oh, so massive. You're going to get way more damage in the long run. And it seems like you still need to book a couple of things. Like I'm just going to give you a couple of things for ES. Just to help you out, because ES is, you know, about the same when it comes to Bubo as well. Really big upgrades for it is Untwisted Garbs. Untwisted Garbs is massive. If you don't know, all equipment gives more wisdom. That's including tools, brother. That's 100% including tools, splicers, traps, and skulls as well. So you definitely want to book that Twisted Robes. get all your stuff on wisdom, and it'll go through the roof. It's all equipment, brother. Big, big juice. Same with occult obols. You want to book that, get that huge up in damage. You know, you're doing paperwork is great. That's absolutely awesome to see. Don't sleep on family tree either. Family tree is actually a lot bigger than you think it is because you're getting tons of bonuses from this. And I believe at like, what is it, like 150, you're getting like 25% increase on all your bubble, on all your family level. So that's also really big. An extra 25%. I mean, that's like damage percent, all stats, base skill efficiency. It's a golden food effect. Like all of that is super good. So don't sleep on the family guy. The family guy is actually really, really strong. And how's your equipment looking? So usually, and then what you want to farm for when it comes to keychains, in case you're trying to boost stuff, is trying to go for perfect roll donut keychains. Donut keychains give a 6% wisdom, 6% at wisdom. And you can get 2 rolls at 6%. That's giving you 12%. And if you could double it with keychain, that's 24% increased wisdom on 1 keychain. And you can get 2 of them. So in total, for your keychains alone, you can increase your wisdom by 36%, which is big, big damage. You got a 6% wisdom with a 4%. Yes, that's very good. Yes, absolutely. How's your, and I mean, your stuff's looking fine. You're farming out goat. That's great. That's looking beautiful. Love to see that. And how's your cooking looking? You got a currently 36Q. So what you also need to do as well is, if you can, so work on tools, and then work on getting wisdom obols specifically for your ES or main stat for whatever character you're trying to farm up the extra damage from, because you're going to have a main stat and then like obol stats for like chopping, mining, stuff like that. Give on and give forward. Go through all your meals and use a couple hundred ladles, okay? Because here's the thing. Here's what I'm seeing right now. You have 4 ladles for the next level on Turkey Lathank. That's extra total damage percent right there. You got, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do Octoplop because that's a lot of ladles. We go down here. You're currently working on onions. That's good. I mean, you got 1640 for Massive Fig. That's an easy upgrade there. Absolutely juiced out. You got a bunch, you got quite a bit, you know, you can get this up at least like 3 to 4 levels on Turkey Lathank. That's easy total percent damage. So just go through, make sure to go through all your cooks. All your cooking, use some ladles, get that going, and then you're going to be bing chilling at that point. And then obviously with World 5, I mean, you know, running, you know, it seems you're running full gore, and I'm taking a guess you recently did a print, which would make sense. Also, not to mention, how's your lab looking? I mean, your lab's fully lit up. Okay, so you got, you know, you got your stamp doublers, you got all that good stuff. So here's what I would suggest. I would suggest getting the rest of the troll armor, working eventually into golden magma armor. Farm golden grilled cheese for all your characters. You want all your characters to have that love, not just one. Work on your combat stabs, you know, the stuff I was saying, like Steve's sword, Dementia sword. You know, you got some base damage swords that you can upgrade as well. Level up your base damage bubbles, the ones that we're talking about, like Name I Guess. And the other 2, just because it's base damage, it's a linear bubble, no matter what you put into it, you can also increase it. Tail Time Vial for a little bit of extra weapon power. Minimum voice across all characters. You know, it's also tier 4 Splicer if you can. Tier 3, also going, you know, with your proper skulls, because that's just more base stats, right? That's just going to ultimately help and go in hand with your grilled cheese. Do Picnic Stowaway for specifically golden kebabs, or post office box that rewards, and I believe it's World 3 post office box that offers golden kebabs. I think it might be. I think it's either World 2 or World 3 post office that gives you golden kebabs. Statue farming DK of board beans to help get that golden food effect stamp up. You definitely want to get that going. And, you know, work on getting your wisdom obols, like I was saying, for platinums for circles, Dementius for squares, Cheezor for hexagon, and Troll for sparkling sunshine, the middle one. You know what I'm talking about. And then just make sure to go through your meals and use a couple of ladles, see what their easy upgrades. And that's what I would suggest for you to increase your damage. Once you do that, then you can start working on other stuff that gives you the big gains like Crystal Stake, and eventually get to like the Rift upgrades and stuff like that. So that's what I would suggest, dude. So good luck on that.
My God, are you still talking?
I'm done now. I'll give you more than enough time. More than enough time. Yeah, no problem, dude. All right.